What's up, everybody? You know how it is. It's Tuesday night. Here we are again. Thank you for joining us. When you join us, just wave, say hello, hit it in the comment section. Thank you for joining us yet once again on a Tuesday night. I hope everybody had a great day. Our day was well. Tuesday be Tuesday. You know how it is. It's not Monday. It's Tuesday, so good. We be pushing further along into the week. Hey, Princess, what's up?
What's up, Princess?
How you doing, girl?
When y'all get on, please share. Please share.
Please share. Please share.
Please share. We thank you so much for joining us tonight. Like my wife said, we hope you guys. What's up, darling? What's up, LaWanda?
Hey, LaWanda. Hey, darling.
Make sure y'all share when you come on. To a couple who don't normally watch us, that you may know someone who may not know about us. Make sure you share it to them specifically on tonight. Just so, because we love being linked with other married couples or people in relationships and getting to meet them. So share, and share again.
Absolutely. For those of you who may not know who we are, if you watch it back on YouTube or in replay, we are Key Players. We have been married for
Thanks, LaWanda. You caught that?
We have been married for 16 years, so we know a little something. We don't claim to know everything, but we know a little something. And we are marriage motivators and marriage enthusiasts. So that is who we are. Mm-hmm. And we like to network with other couples. And we have our core that we go away with, but we like to also
and trust and rely on and confide in. What's up, Zai?
Absolutely.
All of that. What's up, Davita?
But we like to meet new couples.
That's
hey,
right.
Davita. What's that? Hey, girl.
She on my
Yeah. Hey, Davita. Anyway, so let's go over our upcoming events. We have some upcoming events. I'm gonna read off my paper. This weekend we're having a private marriage gathering at the beach. So someone has hired Key Players to come in and host their private couples event this week at the beach with a couple. So we're excited about that. Mm-hmm. And yes, we do host. So if you want to get a few of your friends together at your house, we will come and leave all that up to us, and we'll plan the fun part and the excitement.
That's right.
So just let us know. Hit us up either on social media or on our website. Saturday, October the 7th is linked, baby. That's our event. We are so excited about that. Thank you to those who've already purchased tickets. If you haven't, what are you waiting for?
Exactly.
There is still time to get your ticket. Head on over to Eventbrite and get your ticket tonight. Mm-hmm. That would be nice.
Yes, keep going. Yeah, you're doing
and
great.
Thank you also to our sponsor, C3 at the venue. Shout out to Rob Hinton and his team. Mm-hmm. We really appreciate it. It's really a blessing.
Yes,
so we thank you for somebody that believe in our vision and to pour back into us. So we thank you even for that. We're going to have a great time. There's going to be delicious food. Mm-hmm. There's going to be dancing. Mm-hmm. And y'all know how we do. There's going to be lots of laughter and games. Okay.
And real quick before you go, if you have bought a ticket already, share it to another couple. Let them know about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, add that in.
Absolutely.
Tell another couple. Tell a friend. Tell a couple.
And of course,
couples.
informative information. So
yes.
And before I forget, we just did Money, Sex, and Marriage last Friday night. Mm-hmm. Thank you to Jonathan and Shavonna Perkins for allowing us to share on their platform and for trusting us.
Yes.
To share
second year in a row.
The second year in a row. We had an awesome time. We had an awesome time. So thank you. It was amazing.
It was great.
It was amazing.
Had a good time.
We're going to get into our topic for tonight. Our topic tonight was submitted by someone. So I'm going to read the question. It says, do you think you should talk to your spouse a certain way in front of your kids so the kids would respect them and not talk to them that way? I'm going to read that one more time. Do you think you should talk to your spouse a certain way in front of your kids so the kids would respect them and not talk to them that way? So I guess is what it's trying to say is, do you think you should talk to your spouse a certain way? Because if you disrespect your spouse in front of your kids, I don't want to put no words in nobody's mouth.
Right, but
if you disrespect your spouse in front of your kids, then your kids may feel like they can talk to you like that as well. That's what I'm getting from it. Now, I don't know.
That's what I got from the question, too. you know, and when we was talking about it, I was like, well, I guess what they're saying is I use us for an example. Say if I was to be disrespectful to my wife in front of my son, that would maybe plant something in his head that it's okay to talk to her that way also. That's what I got from the question when it was asked to me.
Right.
So at all times, even when couples, and look, conflict, arguing, fussing, that's just a part of marriage.
It is.
It is inevitable. You will engage in argument, fussing, and disagreements without a shadow of a doubt. But even still, you have to handle the way you handle your spouse in front of your children.
Right.
Because in our opinion, you are teaching them how to handle conflict when it comes to
And
the
trust
opposite
me,
sex.
like LaWanda said, the kids mimic what they see or hear, and kids are always watching.
Even when you
and
think they're not watching.
Even when you think they're not watching. And we work in the early childhood field. Well, I work in the early childhood field as well as LaWanda. And we see it. We know every time that something is changing in that child's environment. Right?
How?
So,
can I ask how? Because I don't work with kids.
You can tell when something is, whether it's good or bad, that has changed in that child's environment, because the child will start maybe acting out, or they may mimic.
Okay.
Right? They may come to school playing home living, and you don't heard the whole conversation that the parents don't had the night before.
Oh, okay. I got
Right?
you. I got you.
Or they just come out and tell you.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
LaWanda said yes, they sense it.
Yeah. And kids are off. Kids need, they need, like a stability. Right? So when it's an environment change, you can tell through that way. They may have start having tantrums, crying, even wetting themselves. So that's just, yeah. We know a lot.
Wow.
We can write a book, right, LaWanda?
Yeah.
We can write a book.
That's why as married couples, we have to take it. See, you're married 24/7. You don't get to pick and choose when you're married. You're married 24/7, and sometimes that calls for you to be extra cautious. Yeah. Now, my wife and I have had disagreements in front of our children, but we never just had a flat out argument, just going at it. We never did that because we both knew that was unhealthy. Now I'm not knocking anybody who does that, because I don't know how you grew up. Or, how you do your marriage is how you do your marriage. But that was the decision that we made.
And it is unhealthy. And my daughter's on here.
Okay, so, I know where you're going. Yeah.
My daughter's on here, and I don't think she'll mind me sharing, but she grew up with her father when we were together. We had knockdown, drag out fights, right? So that was very unhealthy for her, and that's what made my mind up in the first place. I was like, okay, one day I just got up, I was like, look, let me tell you something. I had to talk to myself, and I was like, I'm gonna continue living this way or I'm not.
Right.
I cannot let my daughter keep allowing to see me being treated this way, because she's gonna feel like that is how a man's supposed to treat her.
That's right.
And I did not want her to think that's how a man is supposed to treat her when she grows up. Right. So that put the nail in the coffin.
And in a slight way, it's a kind of a form of abuse also, because you're allowing your child to be emotionally abused. When we think abuse, we always think hitting or
emotional. Sometimes it's worse.
A lot of times emotional is the worst type of abuse. So had she stayed in, she could probably talk about it better, because we may not know how it affected her. You know, maybe she hasn't fully grasped that herself, but it had to affect her in some way, form, or fashion.
Absolutely.
So when we got together, and she told me that, well, first of all, let me start here. I was 100% completely opposite than who she was married from. Let me go there.
Yes.
The complete opposite. Absolutely. So it was going to be none of that of what she saw with her previous marriage. But with me, we made sure that we didn't do that in front of her, because it was important to show them this is what marriage is look like. This is what conflict handled in a specific respectful, healthy way can be, because one day your kids are going to get married.
Yep.
And like we talked about last time, we talked about rent to own and rent your marriage. Your kids are going to take something from you in what they saw from you. So what are you going to give them to start off their relationship or their marriage with?
Absolutely.
And the way you handle your spouse and the way you all talk to each other is very important. It's equally important to show them affection and stuff in front of, I feel, in front of one another. Your kids should know, like, if you're going on dates, kids should know that type of stuff too. They shouldn't just know conflict, arguing, and paying bills all the time, because you're like my wife said earlier, you're telling them this is what marriage or relationship is.
Absolutely. And I think you should always watch your tone.
Yes.
Do we get upset? Yes.
Yes.
You know, you're gonna
What's
be
up,
human,
Cynthia?
so you're gonna get upset.
You're gonna get mad.
But you should always watch your tone in front of your children.
Right.
Right? Like I said, they are always watching.
Mm-hmm.
So if you yelling and calling each other out of each other's name,
Right.
be this and that,
Right.
then what you think they're gonna do?
Right.
Right?
Right. That's right.
And I think that's why we have like so many issues. Now, this is just my opinion. I think that's why we have like so many issues today, like in schools and stuff like that, because it starts at home.
It starts
it's
at
the
home.
environment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, watch your tone when you're, it's like he said, to have a healthy disagreement, that's fine. But when you're in front of your children, like, it's certain things they should not see.
Right.
I mean, you understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't argue in front of your kids, but have a healthy disagreement in front of your children.
Now, I used to say don't argue in front of your kids at all. I used to feel that way until I was looking up some stuff as it relates to this topic. And then I think I had a change of heart. I do think you should maybe argue or have disagreement in front of your kids, but they should be healthy ones,
So they know how to do conflict.
So they know how to handle conflict, because
Yeah.
you don't want your kid to go through life delusional, thinking that marriage is going to be this rainbows and fairy tales, and then when they get married and they reach their first conflict, they don't know how to handle it. You know what I mean?
Have a meltdown.
They have a meltdown, because the meltdowns are coming. So I think I've kind of changed my stance on that a little bit. So maybe you should argue a little bit in front of your kids, as long as it is respectful.
Right.
You
A
know,
healthy argument.
a healthy argument.
Right. Absolutely.
So there'll be no boxing gloves and mouthpieces, in
Right.
front of the children. And if you feel like my wife, if you feel that, I think I don't know if you said this when we was offline, or if you feel that coming on, if you are hot headed, take a step away. Step away from the situation. Take a ride, go in your room, go sit on the toilet, go do whatever it is you need to do, but don't engage. It's because, like, kids are listening. In my lifetime growing up in my household, saw my parents argue once in my 18 years of being at the house. Now, that doesn't mean they didn't argue, because I know they did, because like LaWanda said, little kids can sense it, big kids can too. Mm-hmm. Parents get in a certain rhythm, in the house, and kids get used to that. They can tell when that rhythm is off. They know. If you normally walk in the kitchen and you all hugging and smacking your wife on the butt, and she asking you what you want for dinner, and neither one of y'all know, and if she they can sense when that stuff is off. Because we did. I know I did.
They smarter than what you think.
They smarter than what you think.
Trust me, they smarter than what you think.
They are smarter.
And then I was going to take this a step further. I know that we're talking about kids and arguing in front of your kids, but what about in front of your family members? What do y'all? Let me tell y'all something. Do y'all argue in front of have y'all argued in front of your family members, or do you think that's okay to argue in front of your family members, or even or even in front of your friends?
Wow.
Now we argue, but it takes a lot out of me. Like, I build up, right? So I explode, which is not good.
Right.
I'm working on that. So but it takes a lot, and I did that one time.
Yes. It was
and
it was a weapon of mass destruction explosion.
It was,
but
that's not
the
good.
growth in me can admit that I was wrong, and what she was saying was right. I deserved that. Now, when we got home, before we went to bed that night, we talked, and I explained to her that can never happen again. I explained to her, but I also had to put inside my mindset to don't do anything to make it happen again. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Whatever I did to lend to that explosion, don't you do it either. I had to tell myself that too.
Right.
Because it was bad. That's almost 10 years ago.
It was bad.
And it hasn't happened since.
Right, it hasn't happened since. So LaWanda said, yes, they come in and don't speak to one another. They know, that's about the children.
Yeah.
The most important thing, Diane said, the most important thing is that they see how to resolve an argument and not just seeing us argue.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, and I hey, Clarine.
Right.
I think you're saying, no, it's not okay to argue in front of your family. Please don't do that.
Yes.
Because then you inviting other people into your business.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then if they have something to say, because if it's like, her family, they gonna have something to say.
Right.
If it's like his family, they gonna have something to say.
Right.
And then it's gonna be a big mess. While y'all get back together, they still gonna be mad at each other.
And,
so please don't do that.
And to take it a different route, you don't know how influential your marriage could be to who you're arguing in front of.
Absolutely.
So you may have some family. There are some of us who our marriage is the only is the only marriage that is positive and healthy and is working, and you are being watched. That's another one of our topics. Mm-hmm. So you don't know who's looking at you and your family and basing whether I'm going to travel down that same road, and you all kicking, biting, scratching,
Absolutely.
So even then, no arguments in front of family. You can disagree. We've done that. We disagree in front of our family, but no arguments.
Because you already know your family gonna get on the phone like, girl, let me tell you,
right.
so, and then something's gonna be added to it.
And then Shaquan G said, then the family man.
Absolutely.
Then that's a whole nother thing you got to deal with.
Absolutely. Dolly said, I have argued with my family members in front of my wife. That's not good either.
That's true. That's true, because then you're putting, like for me, if that was to happen with me, I'm going to side with my wife regardless. Mm-hmm. That's just how it is. Then you put me in a position, because as a man, how do I react if somebody going at my wife and I'm just sitting there chilling? I ain't built that way. You come at her, you coming at me. Mm. So sometimes you might want to just stay home. Hey, Eric. Sometimes you might just want to stay home. If you all know you're not in that good space and something might pop off, stay home. Don't go to a family function, or don't have a family function at your house either.
Or if you got somebody that know how to push your buttons. If you got that one family member that know how to push your buttons,
yes,
just stay home. Just stay home.
Because it ain't going to take much. Especially if y'all already tense, it ain't going to take much to set you off. So yeah, don't argue in front of your children. Well, healthy arguments in front of your children. Your family, we would suggest not to argue in front of your children either. Just keep people out of your business in general. Right.
But you do have to do the healthy arguments, like he said.
Right.
Just keep your tone down. Watch your tone. Watch what you say. Don't be calling each other, like I said, out your name. First of all, that's just one of my pet peeves, but it might not be somebody else's. I'm not dogging anybody if it is. I just don't like when people cursing all in front of the kids, right, or cursing at children. I hate that. When I'm in a grocery store and I see somebody cursing at a child like they are a grown adult,
right,
that gets under my skin.
Mine too.
Right? So first of all, you shouldn't even be cursing and doing. That's just me, right? So just watch what you say and the tone that you say it in around your children, because they, like we said, they are watching you
and listening,
and somebody else know about it. Trust and believe, because some kids, let me tell you what, they go in and they retreat to themselves. They might run upstairs and be in their bedrooms, and then you be like, well, they always want to stay in that room with their door closed. Why they in that room with that door closed? I don't understand. Because they see y'all fussing and fighting and turmoiling all the time, right? Or some kids, the behavior change. They get in trouble. They start getting in trouble. You normally had a good kid. They start getting in trouble. Well, you wonder why. It's the adults in the situation. What are you doing in front of them? Right. So y'all know that's my pet peeve. I'm sorry, I'm talking about kids.
If you, I would assume if you have a child, like a younger kid that's always getting into fights and always just so violent, check their household out.
Absolutely.
I guarantee you, this could be said about anything, any issue a grown up has. You probably can link it right back to the way they were reared. It's probably linked in some way, form, or fashion to their house. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, that's all of us. What LaWanda say?
LaWanda said they come to the daycare using language and acting out and hurting their classmates.
Yep. And then as parents, what they'll do is blame the teacher or justify the children's language. That's whole nother topic.
Oh, he's tired.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the number one running. Oh, he's tired. They're sleepy. They didn't get enough sleep. So
yeah, he tired of y'all fussing. Yeah. That's what he tired of.
Absolutely. So just watch what you do. Always watch what you do, what you model, what you say, how you say it. You know, show some love in action, especially to your spouse. Like Savannah said, show love if you can. Some of us don't even like our spouse, but that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
You love them, but you don't like them. And sometimes, that's true in a marriage. Sometimes you definitely gonna love them, but you ain't gonna like them.
No,
right?
not every day.
Right.
But the kids don't need to know that. I don't feel like the kids don't need to know everything that's going on.
Absolutely.
They don't need to know that aspect. And especially men, like I said before, it is super important to me how we treat our wives, girlfriends, baby mamas in front of our sons. Where I work now, I won't say where, but I'll just say this. I am blown away by the number of the uptick in assault on female charges that I see on a daily basis. Seriously, it has shot up through the roof, because I can only assume that person was not shown how to handle conflict when it comes to a woman. Or maybe they were shown, but they were shown the incorrect way. If you talk, if I'm gonna talk about me, and you could talk. If my son saw me beating my wife down verbally all the time, and how I talk to her like she's a dog and unworthy of prey, he would, whether he wanted to or not, he would do the same thing. It would influence him in some way, form, or fashion. So you have to be mindful how you speak to your spouse. Men, be mindful how you speak to your wives.
And the same thing, because as women, we can cut with our tongues.
Yes.
Okay, right?
Yes.
So our tongue is a weapon of mass destruction.
Yes, it is.
Well, it can be. It can be.
Right.
So you have to be really conscious of the, like, before you speak.
Yes.
Right? Before you speak. You have to be really conscious of what you're going to say.
Because what we're really talking about is parenting. See, parenting is more than buying Jordans. Parenting is more than going to football and basketball games. That's part of it too. But how you speak and the example you show is a huge part of parenting. We got 2
Absolutely.
comments.
So Nicole said, hey Nicole. Nicole said, same with wives. Daughters learn how to treat their husbands.
That's right.
By what they see. And Shaquan says, exactly, we set in the example for what type of men we're raising.
That's right.
And what type of men we show our daughters to date.
Exactly. Because a lot of times, in some way, form, or fashion, ladies, your daughter gonna end up with some version of the man that you were with.
Wow.
In some way, form, or fashion, a version of him. That could be good or bad. What are you telling her to date? What are you telling your daughter to accept? By what you allow them to see. Same thing with the men. Your daughter gonna end up with some version of of her dad and her mate in some way, form, or fashion, good or bad. What are you telling them to accept, or they should accept?
Wow.
Yeah. it's on us. We are the examples, and Lord knows, like I said, what I see on a daily basis. Whoo.
Do you ever see assault on a male?
I'm glad you asked that. I asked the question one time. Why is it, and I'm just telling you what I was told from a legal aspect, why is it when a man hits on a woman, if they're in a relationship, it's called assault on a female, right? Okay. If a woman hits on a man, it's called simple assault. That bothered me, because I'm like, it's the same things, just coming from the aggression is coming from a different gender. And the legal reason I was told that is because the woman is considered the weaker vessel.
What?
I was told that. The legal reason for that.
Okay.
So that's because I wanted to know.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Eric said, but one thing we have to learn to do from our own relationships and standards outside of what we've seen in our household as children.
Exactly. We kind of talked about that Friday night. Now, we're not making excuses for bad behavior, but we are giving you some indications of where it could come from.
Right.
So even if I saw that from my father, which I didn't, when I get in this house and with her, it's up to me to treat and be respectful to her, regardless of what I saw. At the end of the day, the responsibility falls on me. At the end of the day, the responsibility falls on her.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a good point.
And you got to want to change, because if you grow up around that, right, you may not even realize that you know that it's in you, right?
That's
so
true.
You have to make a conscious effort to change. But then, in the same flip side of that, your partner or your spouse has to be willing to know that it's not going to change overnight. Right?
Right.
Right? So
right.
It's like 20 years you've been living in the house underneath the roof with your parents fussing and bickering and arguing and stuff like that. So that's 20 years. So it's not going to change overnight.
Right.
But the person has to make a conscious effort to want to change.
Right. That's
to
right.
make their, if they love this person, they have to make a conscious effort to want to change.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Everybody's saying they didn't know that.
Yeah, neither did I. I was just happened to be.
Now, what was that again? The woman is charged with simple assault.
If a man, if you're in a domestic violence situation,
right,
and what they consider that is if you all have a relationship.
Okay.
So if I hit on you, they come and they see a scratch, I'm charged with the assault on a female.
That's a felony?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's a misdemeanor.
Okay.
But if you hit me and they send a scratch or whatever, it's called simple assault.
Wow.
Now, assault on a female is a more serious misdemeanor. And the reason I was told is because the woman is considered the weaker vessel. Now, I seen some of them women coming there. They were not the weaker vessel. I know that man got whooped. Yeah. I'm telling you. But I'm just telling you the answer I was given. Because I was like, this is not fair. You know?
Right.
I didn't think it was fair, you know, but that was the reason that was given. So, things you find out.
So just keep your hands to yourself.
Keep your hands to
yourself. At the end of the day. How about that?
Keep your hands to yourself.
We don't want no charges.
Man, I know women who swing.
Like
Yes, sir. I didn't even see the altercation, but I saw her. I said, she whooped him. I could just look at it. Her forearms were bigger than mine. She had them potato salad elbows like that. Oh, yeah. I said, she whooped him, yeah. But the law is what it is. And so, simple assault.
Wow.
And see, when you do, I don't know if it's changed, but you would have to take classes when you had assault on a female. They make you take classes. The fines and fees were higher. They used to make you sit in jail for a certain amount of time. I don't know if they still do that. If it's a DV charge. Now, women will be considered DV, but in the system, you'll see simple assault.
Okay, so
which is
women
misleading.
Have to take classes and stuff too?
I don't. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
So it's
From what
the
I
same.
remember,
okay,
yes.
so that's
yes,
the same. All right.
But still, it looked worse. Assault on a female looked worse than simple assault. I mean, the word simple is in it. So anyway, I just didn't think that was fair.
We don't got our time.
Yeah, but whatever. Yeah, but yeah, keep your hands to yourself.
Keep your hands to yourself.
And keep your mouth to yourself, because communicating threats is a general term. It goes for women and men.
Gotcha.
Felony stalking, all that kind of stuff. It goes to women and men. So watch what you say.
Felony stalking.
Yes.
Wow. You see that a lot?
Oh.
Okay.
I could. Anyway. I can tell y'all
people
some
out
things.
any street stalking? No.
Cyber stalking. Cyber
me.
stalking is a big one we see a lot. That's when you are doing it over the internet or social media.
Yeah, it ain't worth it.
It's
don't
not
do
worth it.
it.
Yeah,
Just
it's
don't do
plenty
it.
more fish in the sea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
but anyway. So real quick, let's get back to arguing in front of these kids. So we found this blog, Potentosh, I guess is how you pronounce it. And they gave us some list of things of how you can argue in front of the kids, the do's and don'ts. So we're going to go through these, and then we're going to get off here because we haven't eaten. And we
and I'm hangry.
And my wife is
y'all
hangry.
Already know.
And she is
If
doing
Derek
excellent
is on
tonight.
here, if Derek is on here, you already know.
I didn't know if we was going to be able to go live, but we made it. Yeah. So let's go through these, and then we're going to let y'all go. Number one, it says, do not fight about the kids in front of the kids. I thought that was excellent. Because
that's good,
right?
because they could play on both. They could,
or
manipulate.
It could cause the kid to think they are the reason for the argument.
Absolutely.
So don't fuss about the kids in front of the kids. And plus, like kids know who to play.
Yep.
For certain situations, they know who they can pluck the strings. They know who to play. So that's number one. Number two, don't undermine your partner or act dismissively when you speak. That kind of goes back to the respect thing we was talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
Right. This is a given. Never abuse each other physically or call each other ugly names.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
I guess that's one for you.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. You would think some of this stuff was common sense, but it's not. Here's another one. Avoid screaming at each other or threatening each other or just losing your temper. Stuff we kind of already talked about.
Right. Just try to do that, because some people they working on that. Not me. I'm just saying, like, some people. So when you feel like you're gonna lose your temper and when you're gonna scream, you might need to take a time out, and then the other person has to respect that you need that moment.
That's right.
Right? So you don't keep egging it on and keep nagging and pulling at it.
Women.
Right. Now, I'm not, some men do it too.
Some men do it too.
Are petty,
Yeah.
right?
That's true.
So I'm just saying, try to keep a level tone. I know we're human, but
Right.
try to
And when
keep
your
a level
emotions
tone.
get involved, you just
exactly.
Yeah.
You lose it.
You lose it.
Right.
Okay. Good.
Well, you can't lose it.
Okay, the next one. Try to resolve them. I guess them will be the issue. Try to resolve the issue as soon as you can, so that they don't turn into major issues.
Right. So put out the small fires.
Put out the small fires.
In other words.
That's a good way of looking
Because
at it.
the
That's
small
good.
fires, like I said, I talk about myself. I let stuff build up and build up and build up. Well, I used to. I'm working on that.
You do.
And
You are. Yes, you
yeah,
are.
and then I explode, and it's not good. That's not good.
Right.
So you have to put out the small fires as you go. Right.
Mhm.
Right. So.
And she hasn't exploded in years, thank God.
I'm getting older.
Yeah.
No,
All right, here's the next one. Avoid dragging out the argument for long. If it looks like it will not be quickly resolved, consider putting a pin in it until later. That's a good point.
Do what now?
Avoid dragging the argument out real long.
Mm-hmm.
And if it looks like you all can't come to a happy medium, just put a pin in it until later on and bring it back up. It sounds like that's a fancy way of saying sweep it under the rug.
Nah.
I knew you, but that's why I
I disagree with that.
Yeah.
I don't think you should sweep things under the rug, because that's when stuff start piling up.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should handle it. Now, put in the chat if you agree with me. I just want to know, am I the only one? I just don't think you should put no pin in it, because then the other person could be like, you bringing the past up. Like yesterday could have been the past. But no, we need
Right.
to handle this now so that it won't pile up. Right?
Lamont says that one is hard because it is
Okay,
hard.
well, explain to me why you feel like it's hard. I'm trying to understand.
Because it goes back to the other stuff we said previous. What if your temper is? What if you are so upset that you cannot deal with it at that moment? I think that kind of is for people who that way. We don't want you screaming in front of the kids. We don't want you name calling. But what if you are just there and at that moment you cannot control your emotions? You need to put a pin in it.
Well, sure you don't, darling. Okay, go
What Darling
ahead.
say?
You don't agree with me?
Darling does not agree with you.
I'm just saying.
Somebody
though,
agrees
but
with you.
But the thing, thank you,
Read it. Somebody
Siobhan.
agrees with
I
you.
agree because it gives me more time to think of stuff to say. Which I think.
Well, that
she's
means
saying
she agreed
more.
with him.
Right?
Yeah,
She agreed with
yeah,
you.
yeah.
And Clarine said some things you need to step back from.
Okay, that's
which
a-
you do need to step back from it. But what I'm saying is, don't step back from it for weeks and days at a time. Like we
Right.
have to address this issue, address the elephant in the room, right?
Right.
Like. We have to address it or it's going to keep coming back up, right?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You got to address it at some point in time. Don't act like nothing ain't happened, because we have to bring this to the table and we got to clear it out. That's what I'm saying. No, I agree with not waiting until later. Okay,
So she
thank
agreed with you?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so you got one.
Right. You know.
You got one person to agree with you.
I mean, you know, and then maybe that's just my personality or how I, flow or whatever. He flows totally different.
Right.
But
Stacy agrees with you also. Step
Yeah.
back into okay.
yeah,
Wait a minute,
I
she
agree.
agree. Oh,
You
she
should
agree with
step back,
Keisha.
but still, yeah, you gotta address it later. Yeah, if you need to take a moment, take a moment, but don't act like nothing happened. No, that ain't gonna work.
Lamont Sampson said, "When you step back, they think you are avoiding the situation." That's good. That can come across that way.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does come across that way.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Then
But what do you want?
But then that makes the person more upset.
Right. So what do you want? Do you want me to engage and then sound and scream and say something that I'm gonna regret, or do you want me to step back?
I said step back for a moment.
Okay.
But don't act like it didn't happen. Is what
Right.
I'm saying.
Princess said, "No waiting until later.
Can't go to sleep with that.
Okay, that's a good
She's
point.
saying like put it. Yeah.
She on your side. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying like we have to address it.
Gotcha.
Don't act like anything didn't happen, and then when I bring it up to you, you like, oh, that happened in the past. You keep bringing the past up,
Right.
right? So
Right.
That's how I feel.
Right.
So
All right. Next one. This is a good one. Never involve the children in the argument or put them in a position where they feel like they have to choose.
oh yeah,
I mean, my goodness. I've seen this like out and about in the streets or maybe on TV or something where somebody is and bringing a couple is going at it, and they would say something like, "You see how your daddy doing? You see what your mama doing? Look, little Junior, did I do that?" Blah, blah, blah. Why would you do that? That's an adult issue.
yep.
That's just bad parenting. I'm sorry.
And I seen that too.
That's terrible parenting.
I go through that one all the time. I guess I don't know if the month was
Okay.
okay. With me, I have to process the situation because if I act in the moment, it's not a good move. I mean, you got to know yourself.
You got to know yourself.
But what I'm saying is, don't forget about the situation.
Right.
Right. So that's all I'm
Right.
saying. You got to know yourself.
Yeah. Don't put your kids in your argument. That's not their job. It is unfair to them. Let them
Yep.
be kids. It's enough in this world to me that is trying to accelerate their adulthood. Don't you be part of that. I think with the inception of social, it has just accelerated their adulthood.
Added them extra stress.
Added extra stress that they don't need. That's why they need all these days off, and they always talking about they need mental breaks. What is a mental break? I heard today on the news they gave NC State students the day off for a mental break.
I need one.
You grown.
Shoot.
I'm talking about kids. You a grown woman. I'm gonna say, hey, you a grown
I
woman.
needed one when I was a kid. But anyway.
You didn't need no mental break. They needed one from you because you probably was something else. Yeah.
The one said, okay, so he says, I go through it all the time, but then he says, not trying to give the kids an option to choose sides.
Yes, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Don't put your children in that position. That's just horrible. I can't imagine that. Okay, all right. Here's the last one. After the fight, reassure your children that you still love each other, that conflict is normal, necessary even. That's excellent. Now, how many of us actually do that? Probably none of us. Now, me and your mama, we just had a moment, but I still love her. And we don't do that. Now, it's excellent advice, but we don't do that. So, that doesn't excuse us from doing that, but you may not say this verbally, but you can still
sense it.
You can sense it. You can be using yourself as an example and let the kids say, yeah, we back on good terms. We straight. We had a moment, but we good.
Right. Or either they can see it, like if y'all hugging.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
or
That's what I was
something
trying to say.
like that,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was trying to say.
So you don't really have to say it with your mouth, but they can actually
Your
see
actions.
it. Right, your actions.
Your actions speak volumes to me more so than what's coming out of your mouth. What the one to say? Yes, what?
Yes, because we are arguing, we still love each other.
Right. And that at the end of the day, that's the most important thing that they know, because that provides a sense of security for your children. It's great to step out of their house on a daily basis going to school and knowing mom and daddy good.
Right.
Knowing, when I get back home, the house ain't going to be torn up, knowing they going to both be here, when they get home from work. And, that just provides a sense of security and another thing they don't have to deal with,
Yeah, and she said, show you better than I can tell you.
Show you better than I can tell you. Yeah, so I've kind of changed my stance on arguing in front of kids. Is healthy argument that we should do. Not knock down, drag out fights. And to the other point, be mindful of how you speak to your spouse in front of your children. I think we can always agree on that.
In front of your children, in front of your family.
And if nobody's there, you still should be respectful and mindful how you speak to your spouse.
Right.
You know what I'm right?
Yeah.
Regardless of who's there. You should like I said, you're always married 24/7.
Because then if you don't speak good, like say you think everything is good and they come like good morning and they're like and you're like, okay, what I do now?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it can mislead you.
Right.
Right. So I always go back to communication. Right.
Right.
So.
Yes, even behind closed. That's right. Always closed doors, open doors. It's just a certain way that you should speak to your spouse. I have an issue, me personally, when I see a couple that just talk to each other any kind of way. That just gets under my skin. That's just my own thing.
And we have seen it.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yes, we have seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man to woman or woman to man. That just bothers me. I don't like it. That's just me.
Right. Be respectful.
Be respectful.
Always.
That was the last one, folks.
Good.
That was good. See?
So I hope that answered the person's question.
Yes.
Or it brought some clarity to
Yes.
whatever they needed.
Yes.
And if you have a question, always DM us
Absolutely.
or message us or whatever. We're always looking for good topics.
Always, yes. We never say that, but we should. Yeah,
What?
We welcome that. If you have an issue that maybe you and your spouse are going through, and y'all cannot come,
It
to
will be anonymous.
It will be anonymous,
Yeah.
unless you want to come on live.
Right. Exactly.
we are welcome to guests. As a matter of fact, we are wanting to add that to this platform. We want to have more guests on. So, but be smart about it now.
If
we ain't trying to cause no problems. If you know y'all not ready for that, don't do that. But you can still submit topics to us. We love that. We welcome that.
Absolutely. We're looking for
Or-
with blended families.
Yeah,
what we're
say it
actually-
again, yeah.
We're looking for a family that has a healthy blended family, if that's such a thing.
Yes.
I know it is.
Yes.
So if you feel like you're ready for that, hit us up.
Or you could just come to our event on October the 7th,
Absolutely.
linked, and get some more of this good information and some good food and some good music and meet some good couples.
Yes.
You could just do that too in the meantime. You could do all of that.
Yes.
And bring a friend with you.
Yes, October the 7th. It's on a Saturday. And it's in the middle of the day, so you ain't got no excuse.
It ain't even the middle of the day.
Right,
it's
it's at
brunch.
1 o'clock. Yeah, you don't have no excuse.
We know our audience.
You still got your night. You still have your night. So
No more night events. Unless they're just at the crib.
Nah, that
No?
ain't true.
Really?
We might have a night event. Yeah, we might have a night. He's old, and I'm not.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you all for joining us tonight. We love you all. Thank you for rocking with us. Like we said, share this and
Absolutely.
also tell somebody about our event that is coming up. We would love to see you all there.
Absolutely.
Right? So thank you. We love you. Have an awesome night
Peace.
and an awesome week.
Peace.